Roman Reigns has been back on TV for 2 weeks and has already grabbed back the belt he never lost. What's up, Maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today we are talking WWE Payback. The pay-per-view after SummerSlam, the week after SummerSlam has come and gone. It delivered, in my opinion, and we had a few title changes, which is always nice on a pay-per-view. So if you want to hear everything that happened, make sure you stick around. Right here at WrestleManiac UK, I discuss everything that is WWE and AEW. So if this sounds like the place for you, make sure you click the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I drop a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the review. So I'm going to start with the big one, probably the reason that we all had so much interest in this pay-per-view straight after SummerSlam. It is Roman Reigns versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman. And we all got a shock on Friday night SmackDown when Roman Reigns kind of revealed that he's with Paul Heyman now. He is a Paul Heyman guy, and Paul Heyman will be in his corner going into this world title match, this universal title match at Payback. However, the running theme throughout the pay-per-view is that Roman still hadn't actually signed the contract for the match. So Paul Heyman was being asked throughout the night, is he going to be here? He said yes, he's already here, but has he signed the contract? Are we going to see him in the match? He was being very coy with the answer. We didn't quite know yet, so it was very weird going into it. However, as the match started, the Fiend made his way down to the ring, and just as his entrance was finishing, the lights came back on and Braun Strowman was already in the ring and laid an attack on the Fiend. I think this match was better than what these guys did on SummerSlam. It was a bit more where I think the feud needed to be. It was a bit more heated, a bit more violent, if you like. And I won't lie, I was thinking, what is going on? Where is Roman? Why has this match started without Roman? I felt I had been swindled somewhat, that, you know, you've sold me a triple threat match and this isn't a triple threat match. There's only 2 people involved here. As the match was seemingly coming to an end, Braun Strowman was on the top rope and he was met by the Fiend. I think he was going to do some type of splash, but the Fiend got up there before he could and delivered a superplex from the top rope, and the ring collapsed. Earlier on in the night, a couple of people had noticed that there was no LEDs on the sides of the rings, on the ring posts. So we knew that something was going to happen with this ring. I did think it was maybe going to be a retribution attack that was going to destroy the ring, but it was a superplex. Braun Strowman coming down, destroyed the ring, and then you hear Roman Reigns' music hit. Roman Reigns was at the top of the entranceway with Paul Heyman, signed the contract through the pen and came down to the ring, got inside this busted ring, which at this point we usually see rings when this happens, the match usually ends in a no contest, but Roman Reigns got inside the ring, doled out some chair shots, doled out some spears, called down a new referee. He pinned Braun Strowman, which I'm sure is going to be very important in this story. He pinned Braun Strowman and became the Universal Champion. I guess the way Roman Reigns did this, it was very reminiscent of like a Money in the Bank cash-in. I'm not quite sure how a title match, something as big as a title match, could start without all 3 competitors being in the ring, but it did. Roman Reigns came down when he wanted to, effectively, which I guess is a heel move, so maybe we are moving towards a heel Roman. Signed the contract, joined the match after it has started, and yeah, he came away with the win. Not too great for the Fiend. Yes, he held the Universal Championship again, but it was only for 1 week. And I think it was really telegraphed when the Fiend came down to the ring. I had noticed he was wearing the blue Universal title, you know, the actual Universal title, opposed to his actual Fiend title, the one that has his face on it. So I thought, yeah, 100%, this is going to somebody else, probably Roman. But Roman is Universal Champion. They have propelled him straight to the top again. I want to see what's going to happen from here. It looks like they've got a plan, but I can't quite see what it is. He's probably going to be in some type of long-term feud with the Fiend. I do hope that the Fiend story comes back around, comes back together. We did see Alexa Bliss watching this match. Her hair more and more is becoming like dreadlocks now. Maybe Braun is the last piece of the puzzle that's going to kind of reform this new Wyatt family. It's going to be really interesting to see where they go from here. But Roman Reigns has been back on our screen for 2 weeks and he's already champion again. That's surely going to rouse some people up. Before I run through the rest of the results on the card, guys, if you're enjoying this review, please make sure you leave a thumbs up. Give us a like, it's thoroughly appreciated right here at WrestleManiac UK, and it does great things for the channel, so hit the thumbs up button. On the kickoff show, we had the Riot Squad defeat the Iconics. The Riot Squad fully rioting again with the whole gear, matching gear. They've even got a little slogan going on: I riot to live and I live to riot. Liv Morgan and Ruby Riot. Kind of cool. I want to see these guys go far, but the most important thing here is I think we're strengthening the women's tag division. So yes, it was a loss for the Iconics, but someone had to lose. And yeah, we've got the Riot Squad fully fledged and back together again. We had Bobby Lashley defeat Apollo Crews for the United States Championship. The Hurt Business have finally got their hands legally on the United States Championship. It wasn't really a memorable match, if I'm completely honest. It was a full Nelson, and a really deep full Nelson that Bobby Lashley applied. He even went down to the ground, locking Apollo Crews in that full Nelson, and Apollo Crews had no option but to tap. There was big celebrations after the match. Even the cameraman was taking pictures, which came as like photo stills on our screens watching at home. I don't know what that was about. It was a bit weird. But yeah, Hurt Business have got their hands on it. Apollo Crews, very angry after the match, laid an attack on Bobby Lashley before he quickly scampered away. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm sure he's going to get a rematch. But what is going to happen to Apollo afterwards? Because this was some extra character stuff that we don't usually see after the face loses. So interesting. But Bobby Lashley has picked up his first US title in more than 14 years. 14 years since he's last held that belt. Big E continued on the road of his singles run with a win over Sheamus. It was a good match. Nothing to kind of scream home about or anything to shout about. It was just a good, solid match that these two were always going to have. But when Big E won, he had big celebrations at the end. He was really passionate about his journey and how far he's come and how far he's going to go. He went down to commentary and was telling Corey, preach to the people about how good I am. Tell them about me, that I'm coming, I'm on my way, sort of thing. So really passionate stuff by Big E. Obviously, there's been a lot about him in regards to Booker T, saying that he needs to be more serious. The Miz said it as well on Talking Smack. Big E is happy to be who he is and believes he's going to deliver being who he is without changing. So he really stressed that point after he got his win tonight. We had the King of Bros, Matt Riddle, defeat King Corbin. It was a pretty standard match. I mean, this probably could have gone on the pre-show or something. Matt Riddle won in the end with a floating bro, which I thought was not one of his kind of stronger styled moves to put away someone, or maybe we could have got a submission from Matt Riddle. It was just a floating bro, which never usually puts away people. I can't remember any time that's ever put away somebody, but it put away King Corbin. And just as we think this feud is done and Matt Riddle is kind of backstage celebrating, King Corbin attacks him again, and it looks like this is going to continue. So that's annoying. One thing to note is that there was no involvement of Chad Gable in this at all. Shorty G stayed far away from this match. I did think he might be involved some way or another, but he wasn't. But yeah, it doesn't look like Matt Riddle and King Corbin are done with this feud. I think this second half of the pay-per-view is where it really started to pick up. We had Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax defeat Bayley and Sasha. The Golden Role Models have literally lost all their gold but the SmackDown Women's Championship that Bayley still holds. The ending to this match was absolutely brilliant. I think this is going to do wonders for Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler had Sasha Banks in a Muta lock. Along came Bayley. Bayley got put in a Karafuja clutch. She then took Sasha Banks' hand, put it around Bayley's neck to add more grip, I guess, for the submission. Bayley tapped out. She had both of them in a submission at the exact same time. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax went to celebrate, went to hug with each other, bounced off each other like, look, yo, we're not that close yet, we're not friends. Nia Jax's antics after they won the belt were quite humorous and quite weird at the same time. I did think she was kind of mocking the fact that she's won this title, or maybe mocking the fact that she's done it with Shayna, I don't know, but she did kind of overdo whatever she was trying to achieve. But yeah, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, the new women's tag champions. very, very interesting where we're gonna go with Bayley and Sasha. The breakup is surely coming. It is coming very, very soon. Next up, we had Keith Lee versus Randy Orton, and it was Keith Lee watch. We were waiting to see, is his music changing? Has his attire changed? No change on the music front. His attire when he came out, like his entrance attire, if you will, it was very weird. I don't know what that was. He was wearing like a massive oversized hood that had like shoulder guards on it, and then he was almost wearing what looked like one of those Hawaii straw skirt things. Thank God he took that off. The shorts he was wearing were a lot more tighter to him and not like big basketball shorts or like a skirt like some people had called it. So he did look better. It was a small improvement. Randy sold for Keith Lee, really getting him over as a big guy, a powerful guy throughout the match, and this match ended when Randy Orton went to apply an RKO. Keith Lee reversed it, picked up Randy Orton and gave him a massive spirit bomb. 1, 2, 3. Randy Orton was put away clean in like under 10 minutes. Really, really big statement made by Keith Lee. And for anyone that thought that Keith Lee was getting buried, you are very, very wrong. You are very wrong. He's just beaten clean the biggest heel in the company in very convincing fashion. You know, Drew McIntyre didn't even do it this convincing last week at SummerSlam. This was very convincing. So Keith Lee, I'm sure they've got big plans for. There are still some things around his packaging that we might not be happy about, but for sure, he is not getting buried. Last but not least, we had the Mysterio family, Dominic and Rey Mysterio, take on Murphy and Seth Rollins. This was the match I'm sure we had been waiting for, which we thought we would get. We got it on Raw, but we didn't get a definitive kind of winner. There was interference at the end, so we got it again at Payback, and it was a really good match. Dominic is really impressing. This is his third match. He's had 2 pay-per-view matches already. Like, he's really impressing, and I'm sure they've got a lot of confidence in him. That's why they're letting him have such, you know, a scene, such a platform to perform on. So he's done really, really well here. The match ended when Seth Rollins had Rey Mysterio in the corner, I believe, and Buddy Murphy went to give him a kick. Rey Mysterio got out of the way and Buddy Murphy actually kicked Seth Rollins, which took him out of action for the finish of this. Dominic Mysterio was then tagged in, gave Murphy a 619, went up the top rope, gave Murphy a frog splash and pinned him. 1, 2, 3. Dominic Mysterio gets the win for him and his father, Rey Mysterio. And Seth Rollins is absolutely disgusted with Murphy. He couldn't be more angry. I think this is probably leading to the demise of this whole Messiah faction thing. Obviously, like I keep saying, Seth Rollins is probably going to be going away sometime in November towards December for the birth of his child. So I guess he has to kind of start moving away from this, or moving away from Murphy at the very least. This might be early seeds being planted for the demise of this group. So yeah, guys, that is my Payback review. Like I said, it was a really strong show. Like, I feel the last couple pay-per-views, WWE have really been getting it right. This was 2 hours and a half, so quite breezy as well, and kept us entertained throughout, especially because we didn't know, is Roman actually going to show up in this match? Has he signed? We got title changes, new US champion, new women's tag champions, new universal champion. Roman Reigns has been back on TV for 2 weeks and has already grabbed back the belt he never lost. I'm very interested to see where they're gonna go with all of these stories, especially the ones around the title changes now. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button and give us a like. And if you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I drop a new video. And that is it. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.